Abusers do not want your love and empathy, they want your subservience. Abusers do not want your love and empathy, they want your subservience. Abusers do not want your love and empathy, they want your subservience. Now repeat that as many times as you need to let it really sink in. Abusers do not want your love and empathy, they want your subservience. This is why when you give them your empathy, they weaponize it. So then the question you will ask is, well, why? And the reason for that is because abusers exist in victim-abuser consciousness. So you'll see where in most of these videos, I'll show you the Hawkins scale by Dr. David R. Hawkins, because it is important that you understand the level of consciousness that we all operate at. Because there are 8 billion people on planet Earth and we all operate at varying levels of consciousness. So you should not be judging people based on solely what they look like, because someone could look attractive, but behind the veil, at a consciousness level, they are a low vibrational being. So physically, they look good, but they have not developed their mind. They have not really been working on their emotional awareness. They have not been working on their will, so they're probably compulsive. And again, this individual may not be connected to their true spirit. So the flesh looks good, but nothing else behind it does. So understand that pathological narcissists are based in their shame, dysfunctional shame. They're self-loathing individuals, which means that they do not love themselves, which also means that they are incapable of loving you. And at best, they get to dysfunctional pride. This is where their grandiosity and their false sense of superiority comes from. So you are dealing with someone that believes that they are better than you, because again, they are grandiose. They believe that they are superior. And when we are talking about a consciousness level, understand that you must let go of a lower level emotion to get to a higher one. But pathological narcissists do not want to let go of their pride. They are incapable of letting go of their pride. So pride comes before the fall and they fall right back down to shame. What you should expect from a pathological narcissist, people with the patterned dysfunctional behavior of narcissism, is whatever you'll find between shame and pride. There is no love down there, which is why you cannot love a narcissist and they cannot love you back. All of your love and kindness and compassion will evaporate right there at the third dimension, because that is a spiritual barrier. You are at a higher vibration. You have access to love and kindness and compassion. Way up there in the 500s, when pathological narcissism at a consciousness level cannot move past 199. So understand that you could be physically standing right next to someone and they exist in a completely different dimension than you. They exist at a completely different consciousness level than you. Pathological narcissists are based in shame, self-loathing, and they're unable to move past their pride. Pride comes before the fall. They fall right back down to shame. There's no empathy in the third dimension, but you know what you will find in the third dimension? Apathy. That is why you're dealing with a very cold, callous individual, because that is what they have to give. What you get from a pathological narcissist is between shame and pride. So do not expect courage from a pathological narcissist, because courage is not between shame and pride. So you are dealing with adult bullies. Bullies are cowards. They have to pull people down for them to feel better about themselves. If you take a look at the narcissistic abuse cycle, you see where it starts off with idealization or love bombing. Then the next phase is the devalue phase. And take a look at that word, devalue. They must strip you of your value. They must break you down. So when the pathological narcissist in their Gollum spirit tells you that nobody likes you, you don't have any friends, and it is a lie. They are projecting. That is what they feel about themselves. You have to have value for someone to devalue you. Pathological narcissist people are the proverbial crabs in the barrel. They'll pull you down because that is how they're programmed. Because abusers do not want your love and empathy, they want your subservience. That is what you get from someone that is stuck at that vibration. That is how they think. So in order to understand the pathological narcissist behavior, understand that people behave how they behave based on the level of consciousness that they are at. Your abuser does not see you as their equal. If you give your abuser your love and empathy, they cannot give you this back because they don't have it to give. They have abuse to give. This is why they are abusers. They exist in victim-abuser consciousness. That is where they are comfortable. That is their evolution. They're based in shame, unable to move past their pride. Pride comes before the fall, they fall right back down to shame. They're prideful, they don't want to change. Your abuser does not think that anything is wrong with their behavior. And this is why they'll hide their abuse in public and then abuse you in private. So they don't want other people to see it because they know that it is inappropriate behavior, but they don't care to change. They are prideful. Hence, pride comes before the fall, they fall right back down to shame. Understand that they have been in the shame-pride cycle long before you came into the picture. You really were just a casualty until you wake up and realize that they are in a cycle, an abuse cycle. Idealization, devalue, discard, hoover. Idealization, devalue, discard, hoover. That is the cycle. And you are the only one that can break this cycle. And you do this by getting the courage to walk away and stay away. You raise your vibration. You walk away. You leave and stay away. You don't go back into the third dimension trying to change the abuser's mind. Abusers are abusers. They exist in victim-abuser consciousness. And if you go back into the third dimension, into the second dimension, into the first dimension, what you will find are victims and abusers. Because that is what exists at that vibration. Do not think abusers think like you. If they thought like you, then they would behave like you. If you thought like them, then you would behave like them. You would idealize and devalue and discard and hoover, and idealize and devalue and discard and hoover. The mere fact that you are not doing that proves that you do not think like them. And it definitely does take some time for you to wrap your mind around that. There are 8 billion people on this planet and we all operate at varying levels of consciousness. Learn how to discern spirit. And spiritually, pathological narcissists are dregs at the bottom of the spiritual ladder. We are here to ascend and they are stuck at the bottom of the ladder. And they are stuck at the bottom of the ladder because they are incapable of changing their ways. Understand that your abuser wants you to adjust yourself to their abuse. So don't think that narcissists are naive. They're not naive. They're not knowledge impaired. You could explain yourself to them. You could explain that you don't appreciate the gaslighting and the triangulation and the double bind and the disrespect. And you know what they're going to do? The same thing. Because you're stuck in a cycle. Why? Because they're in victim abuser consciousness. That is where they live. The grumpy old troll lives under the bridge. So you want the grumpy old troll not to be the grumpy old troll. But the grumpy old troll is the grumpy old troll. That is why we're talking about him. The grumpy old troll exists and they live under the bridge. So what you do is you stay above the bridge. You get the courage to walk away and stay away. Trolls exist. Know how to identify trolls. They live under the bridge. Under the fourth dimension is where you'll find trolls. That negative, envious, hateful spirit. The most positive emotion that a pathological narcissist has access to is dysfunctional pride. Hence, you are dealing with someone that does not see anything wrong with their behavior. So they will switch up on you in the Hoover and the love bomb. So they'll pretend to be nice, but they are not nice. That is the mask that they wear to hide their envious, jealous, negative spirit. Their dark spirit. That is what you're dealing with. So understand that abusers do not want your love or empathy. This is why they weaponize your empathy. What they truly want is your subservience. They want their foot on your neck and for you to shut up and accept it because they exist in victim abuser consciousness. And they will say anything they need to say so that you drop your guard. So they will love bomb you because they don't have love to give. There's no love in the third dimension. And they'll say anything they need to say out of their mouth so that you accept the lies, the pathological lies, and drop your guard so that they can come in later and devalue and abuse you. Because abusers exist in victim abuser consciousness. Abusers do not have love to give. They have abuse to give. And abuse is not love. You find love way up there in the 500s. You find abuse at the bottom of the Hawkins scale, which is exactly where pathological narcissists exist. When you truly understand that you are pouring into a black hole, you will stop pouring.